I have found a like-minded professional here to help me with my accounts because I just don't have time, quite frankly. And he's actually partnered with you as well and set up my system. We're setting up my system on his system at Edward Jones, which is great. But so to make the long story shorter is I have finally consolidated all of my retirement accounts into cash, not to time the market, but just because they weren't biblically responsible. And now to start this process, I wanted to be biblically responsible from the day one. So I have basically everything is going to be in cash in the next 3 weeks. So it's not from a timing standpoint like you were talking about in your commentary, but it's really from a standpoint to get biblically responsible. That said, I think you've kind of answered most of my questions with your recent commentary today, but should I just start getting back in slowly, and like Shanna said, maybe average in, maybe a little bit at a time, and just maybe do some of the more conservative stuff on your buy list to start with?
Yes, you should. Are you an income investor, do you think, then, Mickey? Are you going to be...
No, I'm going to be doing this business. I'm making good income now. I don't need to draw anything from it. So that was my next question. Which portfolio should I put it in, and which should I look at? Because I'm going to be 60 in October, but as long as my health is good and the Lord's willing, I can do this until I'm 70 or so at least.
Yeah, I would put it into the 55 to 65 retirement and leave it in there until you're maybe about 67 or 68. And then at that time, you can start moving some more to income portfolio maybe. But yeah, no, I think it's a great time to start weaning in. And I would take a look at the starting sectors that I have on my list. That's a good name for that. I probably should rename it. Maybe it'd help people understand what it is. But that, those 4 categories. So I used to have 3 on, then I had 4, then I had 2. Now I'm back up to 4 categories. One of them, you'll notice, it jumped up, a fair amount over the last 4 days. So I have to take another look at that. But that's where you want to start. And yes, so let's say you want to put, or your portfolio is calling for you to put, 8% in industrials. You don't want to put 8% in your industrials all at once. Put 3% in, maybe something like that. Put 3% in a couple of other sectors. And then maybe next month, as you come back around again, go to a few other sectors. And then the next month, a couple other sectors. And then the next month, maybe you're back to the beginning and you can buy a couple different positions. So I think that's how you should do it. Continue. Always remember that when you do that, there is a real possibility that you could be dollar cost averaging up. So if once you start coming around to adding more to existing positions, I've often said this over the last 2 years. For my personal IRA, I've been somewhat frustrated because I've been dollar cost averaging up, I don't know, for several years now. I can't catch a break. But I really, really like the positions. I think they're good, solid companies. And of course, I believe they still have upside potential for the long term. So I keep adding to those. But it is like that often when you are in a 401k. There are young men that are and women that are in our 403B plan for financial issues. Well, they've probably been dollar cost averaging up every payday a little bit. Maybe they got a couple breaks. I'm sure there was a couple weeks where maybe what they were putting in was down, but all in all, it's been up. So don't get discouraged by that. It's okay. And that's going to happen. There will be statistically over 130 years, if you dollar cost average in on a payday or a monthly basis, your average share price is going to be lower. Maybe not every single month, But in the long run, it's going to end up being lower than it would had you, try to time it or put it in at certain times. So I think that's exactly what you should do. I would start at the 55 up model. And I think that's a good place to be.
Hey, remember to click the subscribe button right here on the screen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new content is added. And more importantly than anything, you don't want to miss all 3 live hours of Financial Issues every day from 9 to noon. And you can watch it on FISM.tv. That's FISM.tv.